Are you ready?
Welcome to another episode of Buff in the Rough. Today we're going to talk to Matt Turner about his long and successful career in competitive rabbit hunting, find out who he thinks was the best judge to ever carry a card, hear who he likes to beat just a little more than anybody else, and a whole lot more. Help me welcome Matt to the program. Well, hey Matt, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I really appreciate you taking time out today to talk to us. I'm excited to talk to you because I know you've been in this game a really long time. So I've got some good questions that I've been saving up to ask somebody like you.
All right.
Well, first of all, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe for people that haven't heard of you, or just tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe how you got into rabbit hunting?
Well, I'm Matt Turner. I'll be 49 years old this year. I got into rabbit hunting with my childhood buddy's dad. He had some old gun dogs, and he was the one that got me into hunting. You know, we done all kind of hunting, rabbit hunting, squirrel, deer, pheasant, whatever we could hunt. And he had dogs, and he bred his dogs when I was 10 years old, and he gave me a pair of lemon-colored puppies. And them was my first dogs. They wasn't the best. And then, so I had some dogs I got to hunt with. My grandpa, him and his brother bought a beagle, so we had that one to hunt with. And probably when I got to junior high, I met a buddy of mine, John Offlick. We became buddies, and his mom and stepdad, they had dogs, and they hunted them in these field trials.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had gotten a pretty good dog by then. She was a pretty good one. She's the first one I trialed with when I got into trials. But they ran them, so he invited me to go with them one time. So I went, and I liked it, and met some other folks. You know, they had a Dog Hollow Beagle Club here, which is now the St. Louisville Beagle Club. I got to going up there and in 92, went to a few trials. I didn't hunt no dogs. I just went and watched. And I liked it. And then in 93, February of 93, I entered my own dog.
Mm-hmm.
And in her very first trial, she took second place. So I was just hooked from then on. UK. That was a UKC trial.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you started this way, because really I was going to lead right into my next question, which was none of us get where we are on our own. I mean, I haven't met anybody yet that didn't have influences on them. So could you talk about a few people that have influenced you the most, that have had the biggest impact on you in this rabbit hunting world?
Well, like I said, my buddy Dad, you know, he got us into just hunting. His name's Carl McClurg. We're still real good buddies. I take him hunting every season. Of course, he's getting older now and harder for him to get around, but we still go and get after it until he gets tired. And then I had my grandpa, you know, he kind of, when I got into them trials, I was just a kid, so he kind of helped me out with entry fees and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, when I got into the trials, there was a few people who really helped me along the way. Merle Spicer from here in Ohio, he used to haul me all over the place. We've been from Michigan to Maryland to Kansas to Mississippi to them dog trials. He just liked to go, and he'd take me along, and I'd do all the handling, and he'd cover the rest. So my buddy I was talking about, his mom and stepdad, was Chuck and Karen Rittenhouse, which they don't no longer fool with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They were a big help. I had Gary Majors from here in Ohio. He taught me a lot about, like, just hounds in general, like, you know, how to take care of them and hunt them and condition them, and, you know, what medicines they need, and,
mm-hmm.
you know, good dog foods and stuff like that. And then as far as the trial world, I had Mr. Dale Pruney. He helped me out a lot through the years, but there's one guy that I'd really have to thank that, has helped me until this day. He still, if something's going on, I can just call him and we can have a discussion and get things figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Swafford from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my heroes, whether he knows it or not.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good list. Now, if my math's right, you've been doing this for the better part of 4 decades, and I know you've had. We all have favorite dogs, but could you talk about a favorite hound or two that you've had over the years?
Like I said, I always loved my first good one I had, which was what I started the trials with. Her name was Turner's TNT Jip. I made her a dual grand, which was pretty hard to do, especially for a kid back in them days. She's in the NHBA Hall of Fame. I placed her one time at the UKC Nationals years ago, but they didn't have all these great big, a lot of these big hunts like they do now back then. I had an old male dog who was a grandson to her that we trialed. I won quite a bit with him, won the grands at Nationals, I don't know how many state hunts. His name was just plain Cruise Control. He was a dominating dog. Let's see. I'm old. I'm kind of old school, so I probably won't talk too much about dogs around now, but I always want to revert back to the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I hunted a dog, Merle Spicer's old dog, for him a lot. We won so much stuff with that dog, old Dirty Dan Bo.
Mm.
He was a dandy.
Now, again, I know you've been doing this for a good while, and you've traveled all over the country, going to field trials and whatnot. But could you talk about some of the best hounds you've hunted with or against in some of these trials? Maybe some hounds that really caught your eye over the years, that really stood out?
Well, that's a big list.
Yeah, it's okay.
I've seen a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones. There was a dog out of Michigan, Maple River Levi. He was one of the best to ever do it. His sire, with a dog called Lemon's Jack Pine Sport. That's the very best dog I ever seen on the ground ever. Period. That dog was something. He was way ahead of his time. Daly's Abbey from Michigan. That was a great dog. There was a powerful dog from out in Missouri, Henderson's Brush Buster. That was a powerful dog. Merle's old dog was great. Man, there's so many. I could go on and on. There's a couple of them White River dogs of Dale Pruney's that was pretty powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that Michael and Lily cross, I owned somehow that cross. That was probably the best cross I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Period. There's so many rushing through my mind. I could.
Well, I'm gonna make it harder on you.
A bunch of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna make it harder on you now because I know there's probably, and you're always scared you're gonna leave some off. When you start naming dogs, I get that.
Yeah.
But if you could come together if you could make up a dream cast, you could only see 4 dogs go, and this could be dogs that are from today and dogs from the past that maybe aren't even still alive. But if you could pull together 4 dogs on a cast to hunt against each other that are living or not living, what would those 4 dogs be for you?
I would have liked, let's see, I'm going to put one of the dogs me and my partner's got now, with Hold Shot. I'm going to put him in there. I'm going to put Merle's Bow Dog, White River Big Jake, and Maple River Levi. I'd like to see them 4 go at it.
That sounds like a good list.
Yeah, them was some powerful dogs in their day.
Well, as you think back over the years, I know you're going to have some very memorable experiences. Could you maybe talk through some of those, and maybe they're competition, maybe they're not, but could you talk about maybe some big wins or tough losses? I'm not sure. Maybe a dominant performance where you saw a dog just take over Could you talk through maybe some of your most memorable hunts?
Let's see. I'd have to say, back when I was a kid, I found took me forever to make that my original dog the champion. I don't know how many winners packs I was in it. I just lost count. I just kept going and going and coming up a little short, a little short, a little short. And I finally got that first place finally to finish the champion. Man, that'll never leave my mind.
That's special.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That cruise dog, I won the Grands at Nationals and finished runner-up national champion that year with him. That was a big one for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to the World Finals three times.
Wow. With the same dog or different dog?
Different, all three different dogs.
Mm-hmm.
2020, I made it. I was handling Owen D'Agostino's Mongo dog for him.
Mm.
And I handled him all the way to the finals, and he really put on a show that in that final pack and won that thing.
Mm.
So I got that win, not with my dog, but I got the win. That was pretty special. The old hole shot dog of ours. I got him to Grand Hall of Fame in UKC, that ends up being from start to finish, that ends up being 50 cast wins.
Wow.
On one dog to make Hall of Fame. So I got that done last year with him. That was pretty special to me too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of winning. 50 casts.
That's a lot for one dog.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this. We've all been out there hunting and seen some crazy things happen. What's the craziest thing you've ever seen while you've been out on a hunt?
At a trial?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really say that I've seen a bunch of crazy stuff. I mean, I've heard of some bad stuff that's happened. Like a few years back, they was running a winter's pack down that way somewhere in the springtime, and the dogs went in, and there was a bear in there, and it wiped it. It took out the dogs, or a couple of them, or something, and that.
Goodness.
But as far as me, I've never really had no crazy stuff. I mean, years and years ago, I was in West Virginia, made it to the winter's pack. From the very beginning, back then you ran 2 hours no matter what.
Right.
So it doesn't run 2 hours, got to the winter's pack. Now I'm in it for 2 hours more. So right off the rip, I'm winning. Led all the way for an hour and 55 minutes. And one of the dogs I was hunting against was like working its way back to us, and it jumps a rabbit. This rabbit jumps out of this clump of grass, and it sight chases it and gets struck in. And the rabbit runs into this sapling and bounces back, and the dog catches it, kills it.
Oh,
that's a dead track. That dog's plus 100.
That's it.
And I lost by 5 points.
Oh,
game over. Led all the way.
Heartbreaker. That is tough. That is a tough loss.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of hunts, and you've been very successful in these hunts over the years. Is there anything special you do to get a hound ready for a hunt?
I just give them ground time. To me, I don't think you have to gut a dog. I don't gut my dogs, but each dog needs something different. Some of them needs more ground time to be ready for the trial. Some doesn't need as much ground time, running time. So each, you got to know your dog and what it needs. But I don't like gut a dog, to get it ready hours upon hours upon hours. I don't believe that a dog really needs that. I change their diet up a little bit when I'm getting them ready for a big one, and I try to, when I'm doing that, I try to feed them at the same time every day.
Mm-hmm.
All routine. That's about all I do.
Okay. Well, you're in Ohio. Could you talk about what kind of hound it takes to win where you live, and maybe talk about what the terrain is like where you live? Even inside of Ohio, it can vary. But is it hilly? Is it flat? Is it swampy, dry? I mean, what thick or open woods, or what does it look like where you are?
we got it all right here.
Mm-hmm.
We got swamp ground, we've got big thickets, we've got hillsides, hills, we've got open wood running. Fields. We got a little bit of everything. Central Ohio right here is like, I'm not trying to say it's better than anybody else, but it's got to be, close to the top as far as, rabbits and running ground.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit of everything. Lots of rabbits.
Hey, man, there's a reason a lot of hunts are held in that area.
Yep.
And there's some really, really nice hunting there. So what kind of dog does it take to win there?
To me, around this area, a good jump dog, honest mouth jump dog with good tracking ability, it's going to win a lot in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say a footier dog won't win, because certain times of year it's going to dominate. But for the most part, around here, if you don't got one and won't go in there and get it, you're just wasting your time.
Mm-hmm. Well, that brings me to kind of a follow-up question. If you could build the perfect beagle for Matt Turner, what would they look like? What would they sound like? How would they hunt? If you could design the perfect beagle for you.
For me, it's going to be a black and tan dog, 14 3/4 to 15 inch.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, it's going to have to hunt. Mm-hmm. It's going to go hunting, and it's going to stay hunting until it finds a rabbit. It's going to be able to be. It's going to be honest mouth. So if it's barking, it's good. I don't mind a footier dog. A lot of my dogs are got a little more than average speed, but I don't want them to be crazy. You got to live on the edge a little bit with speed, but
mm-hmm.
not way out there. So I love a good track dog when it can just drive that track, just drive it. As far as mouth, I got some dogs out there that's got big mouths on them, but in my opinion, if you got one that barks fast, like a fast chop mouth dog, that dog can move on quicker than them big mouth dogs. Mm-hmm. So I would want one with a fast chop mouth.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a good dog. I think I'd take one just like it. I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. So, and staying in the world of, I think probably you hunt a lot of UKC hunting beagle format.
Mm-hmm.
If you could add or remove or modify any rule, what would it be?
The rules are not too awful bad right now, in my opinion. There's some tweaking there. Now, everybody's going to hang me for this, but I have never been a fan of the non-hunting rule. Mm-hmm. Especially in the hotter months, if you don't understand that dogs are burnt up and, their endurance is just gone, everybody wants to, it ain't hunting, let's get them on the clock. But anyway, my opinion is, I've never been a fan of it. I think if your dog is standing there, comes in and stands there and won't hunt, and mine's hunting. Mm-hmm. If mine can't beat yours while it's standing there, then I probably need to get a new dog. So I don't know what the purpose is of, slamming them on the clock and getting them scratched and getting them out of there. Mm-hmm. They ain't no threat to nobody, mm-hmm. in my opinion, but I'm going to catch flack over that. But that's just how I feel about it.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you had hunted all over the country. Do you have a favorite part of the country that you like to hunt in? Or even when you're competition hunting, do you have a favorite club that you like to hunt at? And I guess you could have two answers to that. Do you have a favorite club and a favorite part of the country?
I like our area a lot. Now, if we're not counting that, up there in Indiana, up at my buddy Joe Merritt's club, they got some great running up there. Mm-hmm. Out of this world running. It's just great. Now, I haven't been to Iowa in a few years, but I used to love to go out in Iowa. Mm-hmm. And I love let's see, Southern PA. That's even though it's great big hills and
oh yeah,
about does you in, but it's some great running over there.
Mm-hmm.
Really great running. Another place we used to go, which there's no clubs up that way anymore, was up in Wisconsin. I don't know, a lot of people probably not been to Wisconsin, but I'm telling you, Wisconsin is loaded with rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just flat, ground, pounding, running.
I've never hunted in Wisconsin, but I would love to. I can only imagine.
It's well, anyway, it used to be when we used to go up there.
Mm-hmm.
It was just polluted.
Now, I've got another competition kind of question for you. I imagine when you go to hunts, most of the time, because of your experience, you're going to be handed the scorecard today. Mm-hmm. But as you were coming up over the years, and even today, there may be times when you don't hold the scorecard. Who's the best judge you've ever hunted with?
Bill McFarland.
What made Bill so good?
Because Bill, he was a houndsman. He understood dogs, and he knew there was a set of rules, and he went by them rules. Mm-hmm. Period. To the T. And he showed no favoritism. He didn't try to pull nothing. He got the best dog out of that pack that day by the rules. Mm-hmm. It was the same way. There wasn't no varying, and bending the rule a little bit, everything was done to a T, period. And he was that way every time. So when you drew Bill and he was judging, you knew you was going to get treated fairly.
I like it. Well, I think a lot of times when people are asked about hunting experiences in the competition hunts, they get asked, hey, do you remember so-and-so doing so-and-so wrong or something bad happened? I want to flip it a little bit, and I want to ask you, during a competition hunt, what's the nicest thing someone did for you during the hunt?
I'll tell you, I don't remember the year, I think it was last year down in Mountain City, had the World Hunt. I had made it to the semifinals, and this cast was going to determine if you went to the finals. So I was hunting my old female here it's a house dog now. I was hunting her, and she jumped a rabbit, and the old dogs got in. They just pounded that thing a great big circle. And we never did get to see it, and they put it down. So that really didn't count for anything. So we went on hunting and hunting, and couldn't get nothing. And about that time, she fired up. Out come the rabbit, out come her. She's burning that thing up. Another dogs got in with her, and they went right up this hill and bam, shut down. Well, everybody seen the rabbit. They just shut right down and come back. And the two judges in that cast was Dave McVeigh and Ronnie Brown. And I'm telling you, they knew that the rabbit went in the hole. It just went, you knew what happened.
Right.
And they knew what happened. But by the rules, they have to find it. They have to find the hole. And they looked and looked and looked and looked, trying to find that hole. And it was thick, and they just couldn't get it located. But, so I didn't get no plus points out of that and didn't end up advancing. I placed in the top 10. But they, they could have just looked for a few seconds, said, oh, I don't see it, mm-hmm. and went on, But they knew. They knew what was at stake, and they knew that rabbit had went down from pressure. And they, like I said, they tried to find that thing for that dog and get it plus, and it just didn't work out. But I don't know a whole lot of people that would have looked like that and looked that long so I'd have to say maybe that.
Yeah, that's a good example. So What's your next up and coming hound that we should be looking out for? And this might be like a 2 or 3 part question here, but kind of could you tell us if you have one that's kind of your up and coming dog that you're working on? Could you tell us a little bit about?
We got a couple. Yeah, we got a couple right now that we're trialing, young dogs, two black and tan males. One's name is Little Italy's BDM Vander. And the other one is Little Italy's BT's Black Wizard. They're pretty nice dogs. They're already, both of them's already made champion and doing real good. And then got some young dogs out of my Charlie dog and Joe Merritt's Emerald Blue female that are starting to come on. They'll probably be ready in the spring. And then I got a younger female, probably 5 months old, out of some of my old dogs that she just started. So we'll see what she ends up. But that's what we got coming now.
We'll be on the lookout for them. Now, do you have?
I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
We have some super nice pups that are probably 8 months old now. They're really putting on a show, and they're out a whole shot. And Izzy Notes Wren female that she's been doing all that winning with.
Yeah.
So they're really nice. The male, we got a male and a female, and the male is, well, he's a dandy.
Well, that kind of leads me to a follow-up question. When you're out there looking for making a cross or picking a puppy up for yourself, is there any particular bloodline that you like to see or hounds that you like to see in that pedigree?
Well, the stuff we got right now, me and my partner Jeff Ing, we got pretty good stuff. But as far as pedigrees go, I'm not a great big pedigree guy. I know dogs and pedigrees. I don't try to, watch the last 1,000 crosses from them dogs, and see what went well and what didn't. I don't get into it that much. But bloodlines, I like a little bit of Branco. I'm not a big fan of a bunch of Branco. And I'm not saying Branco dogs ain't good. There's a lot of good Branco dogs. They've won a pile of stuff. But to me, I just want a little.
Mm-hmm.
I carry Melison's Ranger Dan bloodline in mine. That puts a lot of big hunt into him. This Charlie dog I got, I like a lot, and I like what's coming out of him. He goes back to Josh Grubbs's Charlie dog that was a big winner in a little pack. He carries some. He got a little bit of everything in him.
Mm-hmm. And
then Charlie's dame side is Jared Waybright's female, which goes back to Hurry Up. But I kind of kept the same stuff here for a while, so I kind of like it.
Mm-hmm.
Whole shot. He carries some. He got some Branco in him and some Trekker Red pace setter.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little bit of everything. Got some old stuff, good stuff, new stuff. That's basically what I fool with.
Very good. Now we talked about the dogs a little bit, but who are some of the best dog men out there today? When you think about and this dog men / dog women, who are some of the folks out there that when you think about people that really know what they're doing with a dog? And you mentioned earlier in your younger years, people showing you and teaching you not only how to hunt these guys in hunts, but what goes on ahead of time, how to take care of them, how to get the most out of them, how to, the nutrition side, the health side, the shots. Who are some of the, in your opinion, some of the best dog men out there today?
Let's see. Let me think here. Well, I don't want to mention some and forget some.
I'll just go ahead. Just do it. And this could be your list.
I tell you what, though, if you want to know about pedigrees and dogs in pedigrees, that Sean Ollinger knows every pedigree and every dog known to man. I'm telling you, he's researched them all as far back as he could research them.
Uh-huh.
I'm just telling you. You want to know anything about a pedigree, you call him. As far as all around houndsman,
mm-hmm.
Donnie Yant's a good houndsman. Mitch Gould's a good houndsman.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking nowadays?
Yeah, it could be just yeah. I was interested in today, but it could be the past too.
I'd say, Roy Swafford's still a good houndsman. He don't mess with them a lot. He's got a couple tied up there he runs, but he'd still be a great houndsman. He sure taught me a lot. Let's see. Man, I just feel like I'm going to forget a bunch of people.
That's okay.
My buddy Jeff Ing, my partner Jeff Ing, he's a great houndsman.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him's got the best deal going, I'm telling you. I got the best setup there ever was, being partnered with him.
Hey, I tell you, it makes a big difference if you have a good partner or a good team. Yeah. The partners could be 2 or 3 guys or maybe even more. Makes a huge, huge difference. Well, I want to switch gears just a little bit and ask you another competition kind of question. To win at the level that you went on, and to dedicate yourself and the time it takes to get these dogs ready for the hunts, I know I don't even have to ask you, Matt. You're a competitive person. You like to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're there. You want to win. Is there anybody that you like to beat in the field just a little more than everybody else? Is there anybody you just, when you draw them, you're just like, I really want to beat this person? And that,
Yeah.
Who are those people?
My good buddy Joe Merritt, because he just can't handle it. So anytime I can draw in and beat him, I love it because it drives him insane. But we're best buddies, so actually him and his family will be here tomorrow for the week, hang out for the weekend. But yeah, he wants to beat me so bad, and when I beat him, boy, it just tears him up. So anytime I can beat him is a good day.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Was there any advice that you would give to a youngster looking into getting into the sport, rabbit hunting and field trialing? Any advice you would give to some kids?
I would say to them, if you're going to get into rabbit hunting, don't just take any dog you can get your hands on. Make sure you get you a good one. Start out with a good one. Work your dog. Get it to where it needs to be. Have it ready. If you want to trial it, the young kids ain't going to be able to, but,
Mm-hmm.
The middle-aged kids and the teenage kids, read up on your rules. Understand your rules. Understand what's good, what's bad, so when you go, you know what's going on. They just,
Yeah, the rules are a big part. Sure are.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's fantastic advice. Well, Matt, I'm just going to kind of wrap up with this, and it's kind of just a closing up kind of question, but is there anything that I didn't ask you about that I should have? Anything that you want to talk about or you want to promote? I don't know if you have dogs that you stud or dogs that you have bred, maybe have some puppies coming up or anything like that. Is there anything you want to talk about or promote?
I got stud dogs, but I don't, if somebody wants to breed to them, they can breed to them. I don't promote them because I don't, that's,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in it for that. But if I could say one other thing, I would ask of everybody to please, please, please help these young kids out.
Mm-hmm.
Make it enjoyable for them. Treat them good. Help them in any way they need help. If they need a dog or you got some pups and, give them a pup. Get them interested, and when they're there, be good to them. Because
Mm-hmm.
without them, the sport I just spent all these years is going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd hate to foresee for that to happen, but we've really got to focus on these youngsters. That's the key, in my opinion. And I try to do all I can for any kid that I run into at these trials.
Well, I sure do appreciate that. As a great thought to kind of wrap up with. And I am sure people who are listening today are going to take that to heart and try to take care of this next generation. You are 100% correct. Without them, there's no future for us. So there's a very wise words to share. And one more thing, if people do want to contact you about possibly breeding to one of your stud dogs, how do they find you?
I'm on Facebook. You can look me up on Facebook. Or, if they know anybody that I know, they more than likely got my phone number.
You got it. Okay. So
They
Facebook.
can get it from somebody. But I'm on Facebook. You can contact me through Facebook.
Very good.
I go by my name. I don't go by a kennel name or anything.
So look up Matthew Turner on Facebook, and and I'm sure they could find you at some of these bigger trials too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, very good. Man, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. And I really appreciate you taking time out to share a little bit about your story and some of your adventures over the years. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Buff in the Rough. And remember to like and subscribe if you want to be notified when we have new content available. And please send comments and suggestions to buffintherough@gmail.com.